I'm already in stuck.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Old Moon Podcast, episode 48. I am Blue Squadron, finally back after my illness the last 2 days here. I am joined with my co-host, Blonde Bear.
We're starting off strong.
Blonde Bear, twitch.tv/Blonde Bear. Catch me grinding for the Olin's Mercury piece. Yippee!
Where's the party? He doesn't like parties.
I
He does
love
not
to
like
party.
parties. He does not like parties.
Okay.
And my boy Jacob.
Hi, my name is Jade. I'm an awakening Wisdom with 765 gear score. I do a lot of endgame PvE content, such as Olin's, the dungeon, and I'm doing some last minute preparations for my VTuber.
Okay. All right. Well, easy enough. No way that I get the flame. Are you kidding me right now?
Model debut tomorrow.
All right. Our RNG is just kicked in. This is gonna be a good hour for sure. This is gonna be clickbait for my next video. Can't wait. Oh, I cannot wait. This is gonna be great.
Baby, it's better if you just keep.
I cannot. Oh my gosh.
You know that meme is coming. You know that meme is coming. I'm 100% gonna make that joke again next week.
What meme?
All right, I'm definitely gonna get 2 flames this hour. For sure.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag?
Don't get me started on Katy Perry right now. I love Katy Perry.
Good music.
Katy Perry. Also, it reminds me of
There's
that.
no. I can't believe that. Oh my gosh.
I love that movie. It's such a good movie.
That's a good one.
All right, so we have a few good topics to talk about this week, guys. The first one is an extremely controversial one, so I'm a little nervous to talk about it. But we will get into it.
Is it controversial?
It is extremely controversial.
It is extremely
Wait,
controversial.
why?
Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Solo
Arguably
versus
the most
group content.
Okay.
Yeah, which is better? Which one do we prefer? Why do we prefer it? And should this game be geared more towards one party or the other? Let's ask.
I was about to say,
I know what your guys
Ember.
Primarily PvP players, but I'll start with Jay.
Guess what's about drop rate right now?
I think that the developer should gear it. Obviously, we have group content and we have
content. Oh, they CC'd me.
Do you think that they should gear it more towards solo content and then work the group content in over time? Or do you think that it should be group content first and then there should be solo content that you can do?
I don't know. I mean, everyone has their own little different speed.
Develop the game around.
I do think the majority of the player base are, in
Solo.
of solo play. So I do think maybe they should develop in a way that caters to the majority of the people. And so probably solo content first, and then work around group content is where I'm leaning towards.
Okay, like really, you like the solo gameplay more than the group stuff?
No, I mean, what I prefer is different from like what I think they should work on, like developers to work on. Like I prefer like group content. Like, although I am like more of an introverted person, and anyone that has spent a lot of time with me can probably say that, like, I'm more of a quieter person, someone who lets others speak first, a good listener, and at the same time, I love the idea of going on an adventure with friends and battling mobs together. It's always a great time, and the time goes by so much faster too. Sometimes I'm so focused on chatting with my party members and the grind that I don't even realize the hour is over until my party members tell me as I start pulling the next pack. So I do prefer group content over solo content, but I do think they should prioritize probably the solo content first and then work around developing the group content around it.
Okay, all right. I'm curious, Blonde, do you think that they should develop around party content or solo content?
I have the exact same take as Jay. I think that when you look at a lot of MMOs, the whole point is it's supposed to be like group oriented. You're doing stuff with other people, but BDO is
different.
So
BDO is
different
different
in the sense that as much as it's an MMO, it's an open world. Some of the best parts of BDO is that you don't need people to progress. Is that you can work on your own solo progress. Some of the most defeating things in other MMOs to me is like, okay, I need a group for this content, and then I sit in the group finder and I never get a group, and then I finally get a group, and then they kick me halfway through the dungeon or something, and then I'm like, okay, I just wasted 3 hours to get nothing done. Or I could play what BDO does well is let you do your solo progression and also have other means of progression. I think that that's one of the best things about BDO is its ability to allow you for solo progression. As well as I still agree with Jay saying that like I personally love group content and I think there should be more. I don't know if it should be the central focus of like their content and like let us have a solo player journey and then also let us have some group stuff if you want to. It's not mandatory.
Okay, here comes my hot take of 2024. You ready?
Hot take.
It's an MMO, a multiplayer game. But, see, I would agree that the reason a lot of us get into the game is solo play. And there's already a massive amount of solo content in the game. You can basically do almost every aspect of the game solo to
I mean, I
this
think
point.
now would be a good point to
I think that
to
moving
do
forward,
to
like from
group.
here, the thing that BDO misses the most,
Yeah, it's
misses
group
the mark
for
on the most,
sure. I agree.
is its group content.
Yes,
I think that if
100%
you
agree.
added more group content and developed around group content, like doing group PvE boss splits, the GVG system, even like dungeons, stuff like this, I think that the game would move in a much more positive direction than just constantly developing solo content. Yes, you can have solo content that you can do on the side, but there's already plenty of solo content in the game. It's time to start developing the game around group content
Yep,
because
I
that's
agree.
what we're missing, quite frankly.
Yeah,
In
I
my
agree
opinion.
for
I
sure.
think the stage of the game where I agree that now they should be focusing on group content. I think as the whole of the game, it's okay for the way it's designed. But yes, 90% of the content is all single player. And I think that everything from now on should be geared towards doing stuff in a group. You want players to play together. That's what keeps players continuing to play the game. Sometimes when players get so isolated and they have no forms of like comparing or progression with other players, they lose interest because it's like, why am I playing if I'm not like here with friends or if I'm not in a guild or if I'm not comparing? A lot of people like to compare themselves to other people to like push their goals, and when you don't have like this riding force with you, some players lose motivation. And so I completely agree. I think that most things now should be pushing towards group content. So you just have something fun to do with people.
Yeah, I mean, like we
Another,
have. Go ahead, Jay. Sorry.
I was gonna say another interesting thing is that I know there's a lot of players who also prefer to just play solo, and I think that's okay.
Totally
And
fine.
I thought that was just like an interesting what is it? Is it like juxtaposition that we want to play single player in a multiplayer world and stuff like that? And I think the reason is because we want to play by ourselves in like I guess like a shared world,
Yeah.
so that I don't know,
Well,
like
so
share
you
the
can
slowness.
show your
If that
progress
makes
off too.
sense.
That
You
was
know, it's is
so
that sad?
hurtfully true. That was brutal. The fact that Jay literally just explained the fact that we can relate to women more when we're hiding behind an avatar, because they're actually other men, is
Okay, I
crazy.
really need
Why
to
do
try
you
to
even have
do
to go there?
a super armor when I do that.
I just thought that was an
Ah,
interesting, you know, fact, I guess.
Oh, it helps being able
Or
to interact
just
with
like
people. It's like a second life,
mm, yeah,
at least for a
just
lot
like
of
putting
people.
yourself in a different world to explore a different world, to just be like, it's a role playing game, right? I mean, we kind of play these games to escape from
How ironic is it?
the
How ironic
this
is it that we call BDO an MMORPG, and every time you mention the word RPG, people get really. It's like, oh, you're role playing. What an idiot.
I think it's just the
RP
traditional term for this kind of
RP
game.
in
Yeah,
BDO. No, I know, but like, you would think that a fantasy setting MMO would not cringe at the
ah
sight of
stupid allergies.
like role playing, but like our community absolutely does. It's crazy.
Well,
What's the first thing you think of when you think of role playing?
there is a large role playing community in BDO,
I wouldn't call it large.
and they are
Get out of here.
shameless. We have
They
a whole
are
channel
shameless.
dedicated to them.
That is true. But like, okay, there was one time. All right, I'm gonna throw this guy under the bus a little bit. But okay, all right. So there was one time or dismantled. This is a while ago. Took Medaya Castle. Okay, if you guys don't know, if you own a region, if you're the GM of a guild that owns a region, and you're walking through one of the towns in that region, the NPCs will actually bow to you, which is super sick.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's kind of
it's
cool.
super, super cool. Anywho, dismantled own Medaya, and I was like, you know what? I wonder if I go to Calpheon 2 right now, if I can't get the NPCs to bow to me, and then there's like RP going on, and then I can pretend I'm the Lord of Medaya. You know, the first time I've ever tried to RP in the game, right? So I go to Tariff, right? I come RP walking through Tariff, all right? NPCs are kneeling. NPCs are kneeling. There is this huge RP discussion going on. There's like everybody's talking and like RPing about the Tavern Keeper, whatever. And then leaning against a wall, fully participating in the discussion, talking about his Sork is Pax from Notorious, like the GM of Noto. And like I looked over him and I was like, Pax? And he was like, oh, hey, Blue. He's like pulling up his pants. Oh, how you doing, man? That's crazy. What are you doing here? I think there's a part of us. I think we all
They caught you red-handed.
Yeah, I know. I think there's a part of us that all of us love RP to like some extent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the BDO community is kind of cringe.
I feel
to
like
admit
there's different like definitions of RP. I feel like just playing your character is role playing.
RP.
Just like just literally just playing your character is just role playing.
Have you ever,
to be honest,
have you ever panned around your Dark Knight in like slow motion while you're grinding?
Oh my.
Have you ever casted a skill?
Oh my.
Have you ever casted a skill in slow motion, like panned around your character because you thought it was so cool?
Yeah,
and then you like
I love
let the
looking at the
animation
abilities
linger
of
for
my
no
Musa.
reason.
I think they just they have some really pretty effects on in BDO, and just showing off like to my stream, maybe also to myself, just like seeing all the cool stuff that you can do with your class. I just feel like just you playing your class is literally just role playing. It's just a different definition than role playing, because I think we have like when people think of role play, they think of
ERP.
Yeah,
there it is.
Well,
yes,
not
sir.
all the way to
there
ERP.
it is, boys.
But that's like the traditional
All right, so
way
far,
of thinking, and that's okay.
my
to think
trash
that
per
way
hour
as well,
is
prefer that
not
way.
doing so good.
But I also think my definition of role play is just playing the game. Because like, let's say you play, I don't know, the Hitman series, right? You're role playing as the guy who's
All right, I'm gonna get another flame.
Hitman,
You're playing the role.
You're playing the role, yeah. You're playing the role of a hitman, and so
Pretty sure this is the guy that I
I
killed
just think that's considered role play. So
at the beginning that gave me the flame.
And that is true. So like you guys, all right. With the RP aspect of the game, I mean, all of this relating back to like the solo player content. Most players are playing the game like they I don't know. Do you think that the majority of players are solo players? I feel like they are.
Yeah.
I feel like because
I really missed that.
Like this, that most players log in, they try to not interact with other players at all, and like and they just kind of do their thing.
Yep. People get involved in like little communities or discords or guilds, but it's not as massive. A lot of people join guilds just to get buffs, and it's not really something like they'll maybe get in a discord because they're looking for an active community, but it's not as active as people push it to be. But I think it's because the game's designed that way. Now, if the game shifts, like it
Oh
seems like
my.
it's going to with the new weapon upgrades from the boss content, from the guild stuff, and
I'm
the
struggling.
way that they're integrating more guild
I'm
stuff, like
struggling.
guild boss splits, stuff like that. If they continue to do this, like find a reason to be in a guild, because other than PvP, there's no reason to be in a guild unless you want the bosses, and then you could just you could just merc in for that. Like you don't really need to be in a guild. You just kind of want to be for the buffs. But these incentives are going to make it so that people want to be around other people and get in these guilds to, be a part of a community. And I think it's pushing towards that now more than ever, more than it has been in the past, it seems. Because I've never really needed to be in a guild for any PvE or anything, right? Only ever PvP for rewards or whatever, but nothing else, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like a guild is required. I feel like a guild is required. kind of.
Yeah,
to play
because of
the
the
game. I
buffs
don't
and stuff.
even.
But you're not there for the community. You're there for the because you
Yes,
kind of have to be
but
for the
that's
buffs,
how you
right?
bait him in.
Right. True.
You know what I
agree.
mean? That's how we baited Jay into doing his very first PvP. Is hey guys, exclusive rewards, and he was like, "All right,
True.
I guess." And then he was like, "God, I love it when grown men yell at me."
It's a
Like,
gateway for sure. I just
that's
think
how
that
you get him, bro.
not everybody is like fully involved always with their guild. I mean, in my guild where it's like a very friendly new player place, or it was for a little bit, now we're like pushing more gear gold because of the new content coming out. We still only have probably like 20% of the people in the guild actively talking. And we have like an open Discord, people chatting there and all kinds of stuff. But there's like the same handful of people. There's a lot of people that like to just sit around and watch other people chat and they don't want to participate too. So, but it just, again, it kind of promotes that behavior. I think, again, as they integrate more and more group activities and reasons to do things, like they buff the bosses to have a lot of better rewards now, it feels like. And, stuff like that, the new group activities coming with the guilds. I think if they keep doing that, that's going to just make more people want to be doing that stuff in a group with a community, you know?
And I hope so.
What do you think of the argument that solo players say they are locked out of group content because they either can't find people to play with or prefer to play by themselves?
I would have agreed with that. I would agree with that now more than before. I feel like because I'm in a lot of discords where there's like I was in the Gyfin Discord where you did Miramok and Gyfin and now Olins or Turos, and people used to post there all the time. Now more than ever, I feel like over the last 2 to 3 years, it's shifted into like almost everybody has like a static group or three to five friends that they rotate with, and then they don't really talk to anybody else. It's a lot harder to find people in the looking for group discords now than it's ever been, at least personally.
Yeah, because
From my
I had
experience.
someone in my chat was telling me how they are like locked out of like getting the merchant's ring because they can't do Olins, they can't find people. It's hard to
That
schedule
is my
others. They just
biggest
prefer to
problem.
grind solo and stuff as well.
Well,
They mentioned the idea of possible creating like a solo version of Olins or a new grind spot that has a ring piece from Olins, basically like options, like solo options for all the group content in the game. What do you think about solo options for all of the group content? Would that make BDO better or worse?
I don't know.
I think for the merchant ring specifically, yes, I think that is fine because I think that a big problem is that like you want to grind for like 5 or 6 hours and your group can only grind for one and you're screwed. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But like I think that on the whole, no, I don't think that that's a good idea. I think that there's plenty of solo content. There's no need to waste development time
Oh,
making
guess what? I got knocked down again.
more solo content out of our group content. No. We want make group content out of solo content. Go the other way. We want it in reverse. You know what I mean? Like boss blitz is going to be moved to be like guild oriented. Okay, this is a win. Like that's a step in the correct direction. You can start with solo, but then make it party.
Yeah, I actually I don't know if it's just like the way I am or what it is. I actually prefer that they don't have like an alternative method for everything. I feel like so many players go through the game having everything be every way they want it, and then like, oh man, I have to make a group for Olins, and I don't talk to anybody in this game, and I don't talk to my guild. I'm not in any parts of Discords. I can't get in a group, and I can't do it because I have to have a group. It's like, I don't know. Part of the challenge of getting that object is finding that group. Like part of the challenge of doing Olins is having all your elixirs or having the gear. I think that's just another check in the requirements. Personally, I like making people have to get a group. As I've done almost like
Is that why
1,500,
no one in
1,600 plus
BDO?
hours.
Is that why no one
Sorry,
in BDO has the merchant ring?
Yeah.
Is because none of us have friends. Like a requirement to get like the merchant ring is having friends. You know what I mean?
You could argue that some people make the excuse that I can't solo it, so there's just no point in going for it. I've probably heard that excuse many times. Oh, I'm not gonna go for it because I got to make a group for it.
Like
I'm sorry, you have to make a group in an MMO. Like
I feel like we have so much gear now that you can technically solo it.
you could just go solo Olins and it
less
not be
efficient.
that inefficient. Yeah, I was literally thinking about it doing it the other day. I was like, I wonder if I could just go solo Olins if I'm like waiting the 15 minutes while my group's taking a break, or if I'm like only gonna grind for 30 minutes this morning, like maybe I'll just go solo it.
Because nowadays, like I don't know if you've been in an Olin group nowadays, like regular Olins, they die. They're so freaking squishy nowadays.
I don't think I've
like
seen that many normal Olin
seconds or
groups
something.
because everybody's going deck. Yeah,
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, because Deborah earrings, right?
Between Debos and still the merchant ring, and at least you're making more profit. The Blackstones and stuff drop there too. It's just really good. I don't know. I think it's okay to require some things be a group thing. I know the game's been oriented around having everything be able to be done solo, and you never have to see another person. You never have to talk to another player in this game to access 99% of the content. And I think that's okay for 99% of the content. And I do prefer them to make me like, because I would never. Well, not that I would never, but it's likely that you'd have a lot of players that would never interact with another person if they didn't have to interact with another person. And I think that should be kind of pushed a little bit. I think it should be the community should be pushed to work together to do things. Now, if you're just an irritable person and you can't find anybody to grind with you because you're just someone that nobody likes, I mean, I don't know what to say. That's kind of the penalty of being an irritable person. You have to learn to get along with people. I don't know.
Gotta play with people.
I do think that there would be less people doing group content if there were solo options for
why would
the
you?
group content.
Yeah,
And
I
so
don't know. I
am
mean,
biased
it's
towards
definitely a
keeping the group
hard
content
conversation. That's for sure.
as group content.
Yeah, making alternatives for group content into solo content means that you're basically ripping from the people that might
Bro,
not want to make a group, but they'll do it
what
because they
just
have
happened?
to, and ripping from
What
the group
the
members
heck?
in general, which is
He
that's the
floated away?
population in total. Like there are
Huh?
plenty of people that, and alternatively, we have kind of done that with Debos, right? Like
What's
they
going
made an
on?
open history, and there's some people that still prefer to do Olins because the drop rate is so vastly different. So I guess if I don't know if the trade-off
My
was,
man just like
yeah, you can grind with the
floated
merchant ring,
away.
but it's 1/8 of the
Significantly
chance that it
worse.
already
Okay.
was, and it's even rarer. I mean, I guess if the trade-off is like the time investment and the chances, then sure.
Actually, that's what that chat member said, that they wouldn't mind if there was a solo option. Like they wouldn't care if it was like much lower chance as long as there was a solo option. And so
I guess the
Ancient
real
magic
question is like,
crystal
what
of
stops us from
nature?
getting a group,
The heck
right?
is that?
The 4 or 5 different public discords, getting to along with people in your guild, going up to Olins and just asking people. I mean, I don't know. Some people are, get into a position where they just don't want to go through the effort, and that's fine too. But I feel like if you can't go through the effort of making the group or getting to be a part of a group for that content, then you don't really want it either, right? Like I have to actively go out and constantly DM people, message people, and organize my groups because I have a limited window of playtime, and that's to me that's like part of the fun of doing the spot is like the work towards getting to do that thing. But if that's
true. If you really want to go for the thing you want to go for, whatever it is, and like IRL or in game, you're probably gonna make that effort to do it some way somehow.
Right.
So
you
if
got to work
you
for
really
it.
want the merchant ring, yeah, you're gonna make the effort to find that group, however long it takes.
Yeah, and especially again, if 99% of the content in the game is solo and you have to do this one thing in a group, okay, like that's all right. It's gonna be okay. It's optional too. You don't have to do it.
That does kind of make sense. Like if there's like exclusive content for solo stuff, exclusive content for group stuff, also, it just makes sense to have like exclusive things, exclusive content for both solo and group. That just makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, no one's forcing you to go for the merchant ring. That's a personal choice.
Yeah. Sorry. Interesting email. Yeah, no, I mean, like, I would completely agree. I think that, like, I don't know. I just want more group content. I want more stuff to do in the game. I think there's just too much solo stuff to do. I mean, like, you can already do everything solo. I don't want any more solo stuff. I want group
Good
stuff.
gosh.
Now,
That was a
being
lag.
said, if they're going to design content, ideally, obviously, you design it for both. What kind of solo content would you guys like? What kind of solo PvE content would you guys like to see that we don't already have? If you say grinding in circles with different colored golems, I'm gonna lose it. You understand?
Okay, I don't know if this would be like
Different colored
something
golems.
that they could do, but have you guys ever played Hearthstone?
Oh, yes. I love Hearthstone.
Okay, so they had this game called Arena Mode, and every time you beat like a person,
right now.
The next in the middle of your battles, you would be able to draft 3 different cards, like 3 extra options or whatever, right? Like choose from 3 different options. And I feel like it would be cool to have like some sort of like arena or gauntlet kind of mode in BDO for solo players to like, hey, you start off with this, and then if you beat this stage, the next stage you get to choose between 3 different power-ups or something like that, and then you keep going until you reach the end.
I wish we had like a tower defense Or like an endless dungeon.
Or
That'd be so cool.
They could even make. I don't know if they could even make it for like.
You're talking about PVE, right? Like against monsters,
Yeah,
not
PVE.
players.
Okay,
so
so
but
you
I was
start it
thinking,
like
in the middle of my thought, that maybe they could make it for PvP too. Like it would be
Oh.
2 players against each other, and then
That'd be kinda
every time they
crazy.
beat one another, they would get 3 different power ups. So I always thought those kinds of modes were really fun. Those sort of, what is it called? Is it roguelikes? Is that
No,
like
it's
Where
like
the genre? Is a roguelike
you
mode?
progress through something, you get like these passive effects, and then the next run,
Mhm.
like
and
you're
then you start over.
like you're rerunning over again. Yeah,
yeah, and you just keep getting it. Like every time
More
you win a
powered
round,
up.
you get to upgrade. Yeah, you get to power up.
Mhm.
That would be pretty
That'd be
sick for
cool.
PVE. I think in PvP, I think the game mode would be fun when it came out. I don't know if people would like that. It would make 1v1s kind of interesting
Like-
though.
like a witches token. Like if the witches token was like a few, like
Shadow
6
Brain.
more waves, but
No.
also with more stuff. Like that
Yeah, they
thing.
could rework Arethia's Limbo, because Arethia. I don't know if I don't know the last time I think I did the last time I did it was like 2021 when it
Yeah.
came out. I don't think
It's
I did it
not
ever.
really worth it. It's not worth your time. I don't think.
Probably not. Well, hold on here. I have another idea for a game mode. Here we go. So you spawn in and you have to like go to like all the characters are like crystallized, right? Randomized around the map. You go into one of the characters, you become that character, then you have to run around and you have to fight in an arena of like, I don't know, 40 to
Ooh.
60 people, and you have to kill
That
other
would be
people, and
cool.
the last person standing wins. And then you can get power-ups and like loot drops for like killing
Yeah. What if
bosses
you
and
killed
stuff.
monsters for loot drops? Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. Honestly, I think
That
as a
sounds awesome.
standalone game, I think it would be juice.
Standalone game. Oh no.
That sounds awesome. And you can like get rewards in BDO for partially doing it
Wait a
or
minute.
something.
Yo, that's the first time I've ever gotten a raid from Black Desert Game. So I have to say
Oh
something.
she.
Yo, thanks to the raid coming in from Black Desert Game. That's probably Thursday Night Live, if I had to guess. That's my boy
Yep.
Etsu Moon. We love Etsu. We used to be good friends, and then he became a CM. And then he said he could never
and then
talk
we
to
can't
me
be
again.
friends anymore.
Yeah, and then he said he could never talk to me again. It's nothing personnel, kid. It's just good business or something like that. But yeah, thank you so much for the raid. I really appreciate that. You're absolute units. But yeah, okay, all right. So honestly, I liked Jay's idea for a game mode. I would do that all
That
the
would
time.
be really cool.
If it had
That would
really
be a
good
lot of fun.
rewards, like if it got
Come on,
like
man.
600
You can
mil
do
an
it.
hour or something, like you could just spawn in. You spawn in with like Tuvala gear at the start. You know what I mean? And then like you win a round. You have to beat a boss. You win a round, and then you can power up your character in like a unique way. Like your skills get like an electricity effect after them, or like I don't know, like something that stuns the enemy
fun
or something.
thing could be that it's random every time, right? I mean, that's what people like in their grind, is like the fact that
Dude,
every
it's
hour is
repeatable.
different.
It's
You
repeatable.
get a drop or something, and I think that'd be really cool. Like random stuff, yeah.
Could be random classes too. Like you have to pick or you choose between like 3 random classes. Like out of the 24, you have to choose. Like they give you 3 to choose from, and then I don't know. You start with the basic abilities too, and then you can also unlock
exactly
3. You
unlock your abilities and stuff.
So.
Yeah, like you get an ability upgrade, or you get like extra stuff. This would be a relative. I feel like this is like a reasonably easy game mode to implement, and this is endless hours of entertainment because, like you said, it's different every time. And also, I don't have to pop. I don't have to pop 30,000 different things to start doing it. Bro, that's the biggest problem with me right now with grinding. Is like, dude, like I want to go grind, but bro, the setup for grinding, it's like, it's not like, do you have an hour? It's like, do you have like an hour and a half? Because like you have to ride out there, and then you have to count the 2 trips back to Heidel because you forgot something, and then you have to go back to the grind, and then you start your grind.
You forgot that Carolyn buff.
Exactly.
They get all the buffs.
15 minutes in, you realize you're running with your 50% tent buff, but forgot to activate your loot scroll. You know what I mean? Like it. Like,
yep.
And about at the 27-minute mark, you forgot that your Veil's Heart wasn't on, and then like, oh,
I need
a
checklist in BDO. They need to implement like a little checklist.
No, they need to just simplify it, Jay. Stop. No more. No, they just bring it all down to one thing. Okay, I click one button, boom, I can grind now. We're good to go. But okay, yeah. I mean, like, okay. Now I'm gonna hit you with a hot take. Okay. So like we talked about solo versus group stuff, and we talked primarily about PvE. A lot of people would say that the game is kind of stepping away from solo content in general, especially in PvP. like with the recent buffs where like people can't just like feed you to mobs or just run around griefing you. Like, do you guys think that there's a place for that in BDO? Because I'll admit, back in the Sawsons era, it was kind of cool that every white dot on the map, you were like, hey, you're like a crab from Finding Nemo. Like you'd see a white dot on the map, you're
I
like,
remember that place.
hey, you know what I mean? Like trying to defend your spot.
Leveling
From
up.
everybody that came in.
Yep.
And nowadays, it's just not like that. You see a white dot, and you're like, oh, another person. The other rotation's open. You know what I mean? Like, go over there. Like, do you miss
You want to
that
bring
at
back the
all?
Sawson days?
Yeah, well, I don't necessarily want to bring them back,
during
but
the
like,
Sawson days.
It was fun.
but like, do you miss those days at all? Like, I mean,
Yes.
like, Blonde, were you there? I don't think Jay was there.
That was
Like,
fun.
Blonde, do you
I remember I
remember?
was grinding my warrior.
3,000 years ago.
Now I would always do like the back rotation
I think that
because
there's
usually I
still
would
even
get
a place
bothered.
for like solo PvP content. In BDO Mobile, they literally have like a
That's so
1v1 arena
like
that
I can
is some of
literally
the funner content to do. They have like a
remember
1v1 and a 3v3 and all this stuff. So I think
exactly
there
like
is a time and place, and it would
where
be
I
cool
was
to make
at,
more
how I
methods.
did it.
Just obviously they'd have to be looking at
Oh
like
my
the main thing for
gosh,
players is balancing and
that
making sure
literally
everything's
brings
like
back
appropriate and
memories.
decent for everybody to at least have an
Like
opportunity.
literally.
I think they could do something like that, yeah, where they can, make
I
more methods
remember
and modes. I think PA is obviously definitely
I remember during that era, I guess it was like what was it, 26, 20, maybe it was 2017, maybe 2017, late 2016, early 2017, maybe. But I think I was like level 57, potentially 58. Or no, maybe I was 56. I was like mid 50s. But anyway, oh yeah, the Salsons was like the place to go to. Like after like Catfish was like the spot to go. And then once they released the new area where Salsons is located, then that was the place to be. And man, the amount of PvP you would get there was insane. I mean, it was so much fun though. Like I remember like you just kind of like looking at your map like, all right, please don't come over here. Please don't come over here. Please don't come over here. And like I said earlier, I would always take like the back rotation. And I mean like the rotation like was kind of sucky, but like I did it anyway, so I wouldn't like really get messed too much with. And yeah, I remember I would I would be grinding at my wife's parents' house and oh gosh, that's so crazy. The th- to look back on that, like how long, I mean that was so long ago. Like 20, like let's just say 2017. I mean, that's like what, is that like 7 years ago? Like, oh my goodness, like so much has changed in 7 years. Wow. So crazy.
moving away from any open world 1v1 content or just, one person going and just trying to fight random people in general. As more people push the line, PA is going to push even harder back. And over the last few changes, they've pushed really hard back on it. So I think that PA is just going to hold their stance firm, and that's just going to be the way it is. But I think that, yeah, there should be content for all kinds of different players in this game. They do a really good job of getting a lot of content in this game for so many players. So there's no reason why they couldn't, try to get something that would be motivating or fun for people that, just want to play their one class and just fight other people or do random stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we talked a lot about the solo versus group content. I know that There's a lot that goes into that. But now we want to talk about immersion, which is something that people meme on a lot in BDO, and we touched on it in our last topic a little bit. But like when you talk about the idea of immersion in this MMO, in this game, do you like immersion? Do you like the idea of immersion, or do you think it's cringe? Would you rather it be more like break the fourth wall? We don't care as much, take itself less seriously kind of deals. Blonde, I'll start with you since I started with Jay for the last one.
I personally really like immersion. As much as I love like having like a cool cyberpunk outfit in a fantasy setting, I think that um, I think immersion is important. It is kind of weird when you're playing a game and everything's a fantasy setting, and then you have some dude coming up in a giant robot mech suit, or some rainbow plushy unicorn dog floating cloud mount or something. So the most like, and once you cross the line, I think it's like two over. But in Lost Ark, they started with like the traditional kind of like fantasy stuff, and then eventually they just started releasing plushy costumes and dino outfits and all this stuff. And I think that those can be fun if you want to cross that line and you want to get to that point. But I feel like if
Yeah, I don't
we're
like
setting a
that.
fantasy genre and we're already there, and there's no real reason to cross that line, I don't think it's necessary, especially because, like, again, the immersion, it is really weird seeing someone in some bright neon crazy outfit come up. And I know we can dye costumes, so it's kind of already in the game. Um, but I don't know. I think it's just they don't need to cross that line. Some people would say that the academia outfits or whatever, the normal plain clothes for scholars or whatever, the you know school kid outfits or whatever is breaking immersion, but like I don't necessarily think so. I think that's still technically within the realm of like, yeah, it's maybe more modern, but it's still not like, again, a giant plushy suit or something. I think that once you like hit a certain limit, it's like, okay, like the line has obviously been crossed, and that's unfortunate. I personally like immersion, and I think if they want to stay in the fantasy of that realm or that idea, I personally like that. But is it
So
going to
what do you
ruin my
make
game?
that?
If they ruin
It's
my,
like
if
the
they do it
Bugatti
against that,
costume was such a good immersion.
okay, yeah, okay. The
They used
Bugatti
to
costume
drive
was kind of
Bugattis in
silly.
the medieval times.
But they made
Bugatti.
it. But they made
Do
it a
not
knight's outfit.
disrespect my
They
Bugatti
made it
outfit.
a knight's outfit. In the cursed event, everything was thematic to BDO, and also the berserk event. Everything was costumed. Like everything was really like spot on. I think there's a few costumes. I think the tamer has like some cyberpunk outfit where she looks like she's got like a Daft Punk helmet or whatever, and some cat ears or whatever. I think there's some things that are like kind of pushing the line again, but it's not to the point where it's like too far. And that's just my personal opinion. Obviously, if you like immersion breaking stuff, like, be my guest. That's just me personally. To each their own, right?
I think there's just like a very broad definition of immersion, since it's something that people experience, and people can have
Mm-hmm.
different subjective feelings towards the same experience. But there are some very like widely agreed aspects of immersion that we can probably list, like full voice acting, custom animations, really cool, gorgeous environments, a deep and rich story, and these aspects are very good at selling a particular and detailed world. And I think immersion is like less of a game mechanic, but more like a process. Like we're building a relationship with the character we're playing and the world that we're exploring. And if we're able to be immersed in that way, then the things we do in the game, like the places we explore, the characters we interact with, they feel more like
Dang.
meaningful. Like we're
Okay.
able to sympathize easier with the characters. And one game in particular that does that really well,
All right.
is
Wow. What
Baldur's
an
Gate 3.
this
If
this
you've
is an
played that game,
insane hour.
like the random
My
side characters
goodness.
you meet, you might think it's like a one and done situation with them, and you're never going to see them again after that side quest. And then turns out in the next act they're somehow connected to the main story or something. And then the final act they have some sort of like conclusion, and then they join you in the final battle against the main antagonist. It's awesome. And one particular character that sort of like reminded me of that moment was Fugar. I don't know if you guys
I don't
probably
know.
know
Did I
Fugar. He's
cheer
from
when I got the
season NPC,
flame?
right?
I didn't even pay
And he
attention.
has this quest line
Like, do you cheer if you get the
tasked to
flame?
find out what happened to a
Just to watch back
particular
my blood
NPC
and
called
see.
Perilla. And this was
Mm-hmm.
the NPC or quest line to get the Perilla Star, right? The alchemy stone. And they were apparently lovers, but they had an argument a long time ago, and she disappeared. And you find a chain of clues that eventually leads you to Ilia Island, and you find out from the residents that she died to a terminal disease. and you find out the reason why she decided to leave Fugar was because she didn't want herself to become his burden when she gets more sick due to the disease. So she made the decision to intentionally argue to have a reason to leave. And then at the end, you're made with a choice on whether to tell Fugar the truth or lie that she's living her best life. And for anyone who's like, spoiler alert, you probably just spammed R, so you didn't read it anyways, so you didn't roll a star. So, but those kinds of moments of discoveries in BDO make me feel immersed into the game, and it makes me feel more like meaning into these characters. And I know certain people don't care so much about the lore, but that's what I meant earlier. But some people have different experiences with immersion in different video games or in BDO. I remember Blue. Didn't you have like this one story where you you were like the first person to discover like the dead tree essence or something like that a long time ago? Would you say that was like an immersive experience for you in BDO?
It was a massively immersive experience. Well, it was. I don't know if that was necessarily immersion, as it was just like I felt like an adventurer exploring the world, and that I had found something that no one else had found yet, and like it was like a cool piece of unique knowledge.
I'm starting to think that I've already watched this podcast, which is really sad.
Really cool. I don't know if that's as much immersion. I was seeking immersion at the time because the reason that I
Like, I'm pretty sure I already watched this.
like I'm gonna make everything myself. I'm gonna do it yourself. I'm
That's a rip.
myself. I'm not gonna buy anything off the market for a while.
Oh well.
And I was making Weenie Looney elixir. So I needed moss tree sap for that, and no one knew where the moss trees were. You guys probably don't even know where the moss trees are. So I had to go out and find them. You know what I mean? That's immersion. That's really cool. I will say that, like you said, there's different like scales of immersion. So like you have like Elden Ring is probably like my go-to example for like you log into the game and it's just like all encompassing. You feel like you're a part of the world that you're in because like the graphics are so close and like the lore and the story is so rich. You know what I mean? The boss fights feel so epic. You feel so immersed in what's going on. Your eyes are just glued to the monitor. You know what I mean? BDO's not as much like that. I would obviously the graphics aren't as great, but like we're missing like that gripping storyline. You know what I mean? And we're missing cutscenes that are actually good. I've said this many times. If you want us to get immersed in your story, I mean, they have a pretty good story. I'll admit it's okay.
True.
It's like a 5 or 6 out of 10. But like they could make it. You can make a 5 out of 10 into a 10 out of a 10 with some nasty good cutscenes.
True.
Yeah, like fully rendered, like World of Warcraft-esque cutscenes.
Stop the in-game graphic cutscenes, man. I've said this so many times. It's garbage. It's and their excuse every time is immersion, which is why I'm touching on this. Well, we don't want players to we want them to feel immersed. Like, oh yeah, that's in the world that I play in. No, dumbass. I want you to give it to me like literally as real as it can look. That's what makes it immersive, right? As real as you can make that cutscene, that's what makes it immersive to me. Like, it's so cool. I want to watch Jordan take off that guy's head in a gory fashion and not with the in-game graphics. I want to see him literally lop that dude's head off and then hold it up. You know what I mean? With the blood dripping and stuff. Just like, again, like the WoW cinematics or like, again, any of the Blizzard cinematics, any of the Riot cinematics. Honestly, Naraka's cinematics are amazing too. I can't think of a game that has worse cinematics than
We are 15 minutes out.
That they should be using the in-game graphics, and they're terrible. This is one thing they're just bad at as a company. They just absolutely need to get better at this. They need to just scrap the old way of doing it and make it better because it would make their story better. It would help us feel more like attached to the storyline, which helps with that immersion step. You know what I mean? I don't know. How do you feel, Bob?
No, yeah, I completely agree. The scale of immersion is definitely real. Between like quest lines, discovering something in the game, I emphasize costumes because it's like the first thing that comes to my mind. But yeah, the cutscenes, there is nothing more epic than like. As much as I was disappointed at Pandaria's ending, the intro cinematic to Warlords of Draenor, as much as I didn't like the expansion, was one of one of my all-time favorite ones, where he's like pulls off his hood and he's like, times change, and oh my god, it was like that again, for as much as I didn't like it, I still use like the GIF where Garrosh is saying times change because it's such an epic cinematic GIF that's just
All
oh
of
man,
them are
it's
epic.
every time it gives me chills. Yeah, all of them are all really, really good. That's true. Even the redone cinematics that they did for Diablo 2 were incredible. Like that just changes like more than anything that got me into Diablo 2 is just the
Yes,
lore and the
dude.
cutscenes.
I was
I
like,
played the game and the grinding wasn't that fun, but the fact that I felt like I was in that game because of those cutscenes was like, oh, I'm loving playing it just because of a cutscene. I didn't think it could do that to me.
bro,
I didn't think I could be manipulated that way.
I legitimately,
They got you.
I bought Diablo 3 and played it with my friends, and I hated it after like it was great for the first like 20 hours or so.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say my your guys' renders just kind of like re-rendered. Anyway, it was great for the first like 20 hours or so. And then I was like, I hate this. And then Diablo 4 came out, and I was like, no, I'm not spending $60 again. You can't do it. And then I watched the trailer, and I was like, all right, we might be spending $60 again because like that's how
Immediately
good it is.
bought into it.
You know what I mean? I didn't. I held back. I didn't. And now I can just laugh at everybody because they bought it and had fun and I didn't. But again, it looked like it was the same experience. They had fun for like honestly like 100 hours this time, and then everybody stopped having fun after that point. But like you need that kind of like engrossing like cinematic to like pull people in. And I think that we're really missing that from BDO. We're also missing like if you really want me to feel immersed, you need to make me feel attached to my class. They do such a poor job of like giving your class like identity like that you can relate to. We're all playing our classes whether you like it or not. You're playing your class typically because you can relate to it on some level or you want to relate to it on some level. Some people never find a class because again they don't have one that they jive with on that sincere level. You know what I mean? But like they need to come out with like actual class quests that make sense. Not like you get to the
like
end
an
of
origin
Succession
story
quest
or
line.
something.
Not the end of the Succession quest line again. Oh my god, Elezra again? No! Like, shut up, dude.
Yeah.
Actually make a quest line that is unique to the class. Give it unique class quest line. And then for completing like the various quests or like discovering these quests, like if you go out and adventure on a dark night and then you discover one of the Vadir out in the world, they might give you a hidden quest. That hidden quest, you take that hidden quest to completion, you get a custom skin for your Dark Knight.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting how in depth the character, all the different classes have really in depth backgrounds, but like you just kind of are spammed to get your abilities and you don't really learn about it other than the text dialogue. Like Witch and Wizard are literally from another dimension, right? And
Your boy's
that's not
falling
even
asleep.
emphasized like at all. Like it's like, bro, that's really cool. Can we learn more about that? Nope. Read it in a paragraph somewhere in the archives.
Dude. Yeah, and no one's
like okay.
No one's gonna do that. I'll tell you right now,
Right.
as a high school teacher,
Ooh.
it's if it's longer than a 90-second
Oh
TikTok,
boy.
it's over. Okay. God forbid it's text on a page. Okay, you don't even require the textbook anymore. Let's be real, right? How many of us actually open the textbooks that we buy for like college or whatever? Right?
Nope.
Like sometimes the
I like the
professor will
PDF
like
version.
require us to read the book, and you'll find some cheeky way around it. Nobody opens books. Nobody reads anymore. It's got to be visually on the screen in front of you. It's got to be so good that I want to go read. Like I'll go read some of the Elden Ring lore, but that's because again I've already been baited in by like the cinematics and stuff. You know, like it just is what it is. But like there's other aspects of immersion too. Like part of the reason I like life skilling is because immersion. It makes me feel like I'm a part of the world. You know, I'm building something. One thing I miss from the game right now is crafting. I used to love crafting stuff. Like it was one of my favorite things to do. Like I would go out and I would make like Grunel, you know what I mean? Or I would make like hides and stuff. I'll be honest, hot take, PvE grinding, not immersive at all. I don't feel immersed or part of the world or whatever. The mobs are just respawning and I'm grinding money. That's the least immersive part of the entire game for me. I feel more immersed when I'm in Node Wars and Siege because I'm like fighting. Part of the reason I like War of the Roses. Dude, isn't it great, dude?
That is an immersive experience. I experienced it last week. That was so crazy.
I know, for the 30 minutes that it happened.
Listen, well, it was like
Man,
45.
how
Okay.
many embers have I got? I got 5 embers so far.
It was 45, almost an hour. That was freaking awesome. definitely imbalanced and could use a lot of changes. But like, man, that was fun. And you're just running to these bases, tons of people coming from all the different sides interacting. Then there's like a mob in the middle, and you're trying to kill it while killing other people. Oh man, that felt awesome.
So you were on Show's team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a better experience for you. Yeah.
It was awesome, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're fighting across an entire like continent.
It's
right?
huge.
You're pushing them back across an entire continent, which is really, really cool. You feel like a part of something that's bigger than yourself. You know what I mean? And like I said, you get to play with people that are like not normally like PvPers, or like, and maybe you're not normally a PvPer, and you're kind of just running around and
dude, I ran around and I was
All right,
killing
10 more
every mob I saw.
10 more
When I went
minutes.
into the castle, there was like 20 mages casting everything. I went to each and every outpost and killed all those mages so that they wouldn't be bombing everybody in the middle. I was like, I'm doing my part. Like, I felt great. I was like, PvE mode activated. I'm saving lives.
Where's Blonde?
Find
the mobs, bro.
Dude, it was so good.
Jay, what about you? Did you get to do War of the Roses this week?
I did not get in. I did.
Oh, winners win, I guess.
Sometimes the argument against you.
Yeah, losers lose. So yeah, put it as.
Losers lose. Maybe next time.
It is a tremendously fun time. I got to shoutcast it with that too.
Yeah. I was actually watching while I was in it.
I know.
I tried to stand in the camera a few times. I was like, yeah, what up?
It's difficult.
Maybe
Yeah,
they should just have a shoutcast they should host the shoutcast every time.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's kind of a good
every
idea.
week. I would shoutcast it every week. You think I won't?
That'd be.
Yep.
You know, they need to not allow that. This is good. We have these kind. That needs to be disallowed.
I think I might watch this one too.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Another thing is I came from a gacha game, so swiping was a habit for me. And I came from Tower of Fantasy.
Yeah, I watched this one too.
Oh,
little bit of
wallet.
Yes, exactly.
Tower of Wallet.
Yeah, it is a very, very expensive game if you want to compete in any of the real end game content in that game. Like you have to spend tens of.
All right, I haven't watched this one. I haven't watched the 2-year anniversary or the 1-year anniversary yet. I need to do that one at some point.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Old Moon Podcast, episode 53. Woo! We're officially over a year old. Pog dog. I'm your host, Blue Squadron, joined as always with Jakun.
Hi, my name is Jakun. I'm an Awakening Wisdom Man with 765 year score. I do a lot of endgame PvE content such as Olins and dungeons, and I'm currently going hard and bartering for the Ebenrid Snow. We're currently 0 to 14. We're making our way there. You can find me over at twitch.tv/JakunVT, V before the D.
You kind of nailed that, buddy. I'm proud of you.
I did. Oh my god.
So proud of you right now. And our boy, Blondebear.
Hello, I'm Blondebear.
Oh my goodness. These knockdowns.
That's all we get, man. You need to get better at the self-promotion, Blonde. Blonde, did you get a new webcam?
No, I don't know. Is it different?
I don't know. Maybe the lighting's just better.
Better.
Just looks good. Just looks good. He's like, really? Because my monitor is on.
Oh.
I'm literally gaming in a cave with my monitor on. That's crazy. All right, so our first topic today is the global lab changes. The most significant of which was like this little footnote they put in there. Oh, and by the way, the old UI is going away. Stop using it.
Yeah, isn't that kind of crazy?
It's literally they were like stop using it. Stop. It's kind of like how I tell people not to play RuneScape. Like, stop playing RuneScape. You know what I mean?
What?
Like
What's wrong with RuneScape?
So good.
It's like 40 years old. It's older than most players.
It's one of the best.
40, is it actually
so
40 years
no,
old?
it's like
There's
20.
no
No,
way.
it's like
25,
26 or something. Yeah, 25, 26 years old. It's older than most
25.
players.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my god.
Unironically older than
It's so funny.
Seek Jesus. Okay. Sorry. So how do you guys feel? Do you guys use the old UI?
Oh, I was in frontal guard. Come on.
Not really. As soon as the new UI changed, I kind of moved on.
What do you mean? I just
I
moved
got
on.
Acclimated.
I religiously use the old menu, and when the first new menu
Really?
came in, I was like, I don't need this garbage. I know where all my buttons are. If I need a channel swap, I'm there in like 3 seconds. If I need to do this or that, and there's certain functions that you just got
It's just
used to.
quicker. Yeah.
The problem was that when they added the
The new
newer functions
features.
on the new menu, it
Yeah.
didn't update the old menu. You kind of
Yep.
didn't really have a choice. And once I started using some of the newer menus, I was like, I can't stop. I have to use the new menus. So I think it
You
was
got
like
used to it, right?
I think it's like 6 months or so ago, right before like Land of the Morning Light, I started using it a lot, and now I'm kind of stuck on it. I was like,
Okay, I've been hearing a lot of my chat complaining about they're gonna miss the old UI and they hate the new UI and stuff like that. But I feel like this is
you
like a
get used
similar
to it.
situation to the central market because when the central market first came, everybody like my guild was like hating on it. I'm like, what the heck is this? Is way better. You're gonna have to get used to
Everyone
it
hated
anyways.
on it except for me. I felt like, at least in my guild and like my circle, everyone was like, "It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna ruin the game. I'm gonna have to quit." And then we got it, and they were like,
it's the best thing.
"This is the best thing that's ever
It's
happened."
like the bird that eats the cracker.
Every
and it's
time, every time. Oh my god,
yeah.
it's crazy.
Oh, man.
I don't think it's gonna be exactly like that though, because like I think that if people had the chance to transition, they would have done it years ago. We've had that UI for like 4 years, 5 years.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah,
so like,
it's been here for a while.
but I also understand that they just don't want to support it anymore. Like it's wasting development time. And we're like, excellent. Are you going to put out the spectate feature for AOS then, since you have more time on your hands? It'd be great.
Should they just keep it as it is? Like, is there an issue with also just keeping it unupdated?
Yeah, because then it wouldn't have all the features that the normal UI does. And like it would also lag the game out. Like whenever you have like just random stuff in there, like yeah, I mean it's kind of like how like the old gen of console, them constantly updating for like the PS4 and PS3 or whatever the hell. It lags the game out for everybody else. But like and then especially if you don't support it after a while, you're gonna get these weird unnecessary bugs. So you add something new to the game, and because the old UI is structured a certain way, you end up with these crazy bugs. So like I understand them having to remove it after a while, but like I know a lot of players were up in an uproar. There's some people, I am gonna quit. No, you're not. Shut up.
Because of the UI? You're gonna quit because of the UI?
Annoying
All
at
right.
first, but like once you I'm just so used to it being in the. I was for a long time. I was used to it being in the center and having all the buttons. But
Well, you
and
just
like I guess
it's
you could
just
swap the
change.
sides of the
People
menu or
don't like
something like that.
change.
But one of the really cool functions about the new menu is that if you just want certain things like right on
You
your
can just
pinned
pretty
menu,
much
like once you
pin
start
it. Yeah.
actually using
Yeah.
the
You can just
functionality of
pin
the new
it.
menu, and the fact that you can like edit the top row of buttons, there's so much modern functionality to the new one
Yeah.
that
It's
yeah, it's just one of
customizable.
those things that's like, oh, I don't want to change.
It's
I
You
just
just
want to keep
gotta
it the way
do
it
it.
was. But honestly, it is the new menu is better, and there's like so many things you can literally do a search term. So if like I don't have a menu pinned there, but I'm gonna do something like BA or whatever, I'll type in BA and then all of a
Search
sudden,
it, or just pin it.
yeah,
Just pin the BA.
yeah, I have like literally like 11 different things pinned just because between Yar, Loot Scroll, Dice Game, coupons, the notepad, like. And if you don't want to pin it, you could just go to the tab that it's in. And if you've memorized those functions and numbers, like
it's functional.
you
I was about
can do
to
all
say,
kinds of commands. Like it's way quicker. So I think it's one of those things where like, and there's a lot of other old UI stuff. Like for the longest time, the friends list was just atrocious, which it still is kind of atrocious. But
I still don't use the friends list, to be honest. I still just use like Discord for main communication.
I just think
of course
Discord's
you will,
better.
because you're a normal person who literally goes, "Let me get online." You know what I mean? Like, hold on.
Well,
everybody message your friends. You know what I mean?
Listen,
you're just gonna DM them in Discord. That's crazy.
There's some people that don't have Discord or don't like Discord. I've met some of those people, and so like I literally have a section in my friends list for like regular people that have just added me. I have a section for Olins, so I can just DM some people for Olins or whatever, and then I have an offline section where the graveyard is, where people that don't log in anymore.
The graveyard, no. Last online 1,000 days ago. Oh
the
no.
functionality is just one of those things where it's just like, so many other UI things could be so much better if they just like.
Yeah, I remember being able to like pretty much fully customize everything in like World of Warcraft's UI. But however, it was like with the help of like third party add-ons and stuff, which is just how the game functions nowadays. But and I don't expect BDO will allow us to like completely change the way UI looks. But it would be nice if like some elements too. Like I was always talking about my chat like, oh my god, I just need more, I don't know, quick slots and cooldown slots, because I just like looking at or tracking, being able to track as many things as I want. Even if even if I don't use that skill very much, I just like looking at there and like organizing it, making my UI. It's like my workspace, right? It makes it look.
All right, so we're gonna do the last. And that missed everyone. Oh, no, no, no. No, don't you use it. Stop it. Was that too late? Oh, actually, no, it didn't even matter. I only had 4 of them anyway. All right. Let's see what we ended up getting with my RNG carried hour. Gotta figure up a clickbait title. Or not a title, but a clickbait thumbnail. All right, let's see how much trash I ended up getting. Let's see. So 38, 7, 7 minus 6, 8, 9, 1. So not bad. 18. So 18, 1, 3, 4. Again, let me just kind of move this here. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this here real quick. Oh, wrong button. 18, 1, 3, 4. And then 1 flame. Wow. Hold on. Dude, honestly, I mean, if you take out the lightstone and the flame, 681 million. 681 million. And then once you add this in, and then add in the flame, it's 2.9 billion. Oh, let's go, baby. Oh my gosh. Uh, that's awesome. All right, YouTube. Thanks for stopping by, watching the video, and yeah, we got RNG carried 2.9 billion this hour here. 2.9 billion. I got the raw flame drop, the very first mob. 18,000 trash. I was hoping I'd go for 20, but yeah, good day tomorrow. I am toasted right now. I am so tired. Hope you have a good day tomorrow. But peace out.